everyone, Ranger here. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another video. This is a video that I never imagined that I would ever be doing a reaction to, or rather a rewatch, because it's been so long since I have seen this. Okay. Um, it has been so long since I have seen this video. This was recommended to me, The Little Engine That Could, from 1991. This was my childhood. This movie, it was recommended to me on YouTube, and immediately as soon as I saw the thumbnail, I'm like, wait a minute. And then I started like a few seconds of it, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I remember having the VHS tape of this movie, and so I thought, why not rewatch this movie again? I mean, it was part of my childhood. I looked up some of the voice acting. There's some great voice acting in it. The animation still holds up. This thing is 30 years old. It still holds up. I remember watching this movie, and so let's just go ahead, dive into it, and rewatch a movie that was part of my childhood. I've got some of my Sunkissed right here ready to go. So let's go ahead, dive in. Again, I haven't seen this movie in decades. I mean, it's been so long since I've seen this movie. Let's go ahead, dive in. Starting video 3, 2. Also, if you don't see if the full movie isn't uploaded, if you can't watch the full movie, then chances are YouTube blocked the reaction worldwide, so I had to trim it, so just in case. Let's go ahead and dive into a part of my childhood again. This thing has some amazing voice acting in it, so let's dive in. 3, 2, 1, click. Oh man.
What you reading, Eric? About the little engine and the toys it brings. It's a birthday train, and tomorrow's my birthday.
Birthday train full of toys? I just can't believe you really believe that.
Sure
Dude.
I do. It'll come.
Don't hold your breath.
It's been so long.
It'll come. I know it will. I know it will. I know it will. I know it will.
I remember just that, like that cymbal sound or that drum sound as it pans over the railroad track and you see the crossing sign. I remember that. Kath Sosi, Frank Welker. Uh, there's some really good voice acting in this movie. That scene, that pan, I remember. Dude, this was part of my childhood. Like, this, Cats Don't Dance, were two movies that I watched so freaking much. I remember this scene. It's faint, but it's like, it's a part of my childhood. Now I had and still have the little engine that could, little golden book. storybook. I still have that. Cute bird.
Wake up, Chip.
The music is also really good for this still.
Get up, lazy bird. Leave me alone, Tilly. I couldn't sleep all night. Chip, have you been eating those green worms again? Yeah. Well, a little work will get you going.
I got to like this part, like checking it out, and I heard that voice, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I know that voice.
Come on, Farnsworth.
Refined engines such as I should never get up this early. It's bad for our chug.
Oh, that's silly, Farnsworth.
But what would you know about it? You're just a little switch engine moving real engines around the train yard.
Hey, what do you mean, real engines?
Stop squabbling. We can't waste a minute.
What is the assignment that I shall do so extremely well?
You take that passenger train over the mountain to the town.
Consider it done, old man.
Keep 'em rolling, Tilly.
Was that?
Come on, Pete.
Careful, kid. Don't bust a boiler.
Ha! Are you kidding? Hold on to your smokestack. Boy, Tilly sure fired up this morning. Achoo!
For Pete's sake, Pete, watch that smoke.
Yeah. Where to today, boss?
See that freight train? Over the mountain to the town.
Nothing to it, boss. Be back in a flash.
Oh, no. Tilly, where's that milk train?
Hey, aren't y'all forgetting Jebediah?
Shh! I don't want to wake him up.
But Jebediah pulled the milk train.
Not today. I have a plan.
So you still want a train to pull?
Hey, I'm an engine, aren't I?
Settle down, girl. I'm on your side. Fact is, honey, I wouldn't mind if you were pulling a train for me. I got a little hitch in my chug along this morning. But you better get going.
Thanks, Georgia.
Jebediah, get that milk train rolling.
On my way, Tower.
What kind of joke is this?
It's no joke. I can do it.
You're too little, kid.
What do you know, you overgrown stack of lumber? She is not too little. Big blowhard.
What y'all got for me today, Tower?
That load of toys and stuff over there.
Oh, happy day! The birthday train. But it's empty.
Rolo the clown is loading now, so get going.
Yes, sir. Don't you worry, Tilly. You'll have a train of your own someday.
I hope I can. I hope I can.
Are you ready?
Raring to roll, Rolo.
Okay, Jeepers.
I think I remember some of the characters.
They'll never fit in there.
Now, from rewatching this, I can
Coming.
It's Stretch Armstrong.
Stretch and Missy.
I think I remember vaguely this scene here. Wait, does the kite ever? No, I don't think the kite ever says anything.
That sounds like the most wonderful train ever. Don't worry, Tilly. You'll get your chance. I hope I do.
It is my honor to say, that is, I am pleased to announce, that it's time to...
Oh, come on, let's go!
Right in the tender car.
Go.
I could do that.
Are you still dreaming? You and that dumb train.
It's not dumb.
It's worse than dumb. It's not even real.
It will come. I know it will. I know it will.
He has a similar mentality to her, I think. With saying, I know it will, I know it will, I hope I can, I hope I can. Oh dear. Oh, blew a stack.
What? Who? Why? Where? When? How? What?
Why did we stop?
Yeah, like she said.
I don't know. Something went spoing, and I just stopped. I sure am sorry.
I knew it! I knew it! We'll never get over the mountain. I knew it.
Oh, no, Jeepers, it doesn't hurt, but I can't go either.
As director, that is head, that is leader of the playthings or toys.
This voice.
Assistant, help, SOS kind of thing, you know.
Oh, this voice. It sounds familiar.
Well, how about if I just signal for help?
I know. How about if we just signal for help?
Doot, doot, doot.
SOS signal.
Tilly, something's wrong. It's Georgia, and she's in trouble. Stop! Stop! Train in trouble. It's Georgia and the birthday train.
There's no time to lose. Say toot. Well, you'll be all right. It's just a bent spungermonger. But there won't be any mountain
What?
climbing for a few days.
But Doc, we've got to get the birthday train over that, the thing, that big, lump, that mountain.
His voice sounds so familiar.
I'm sorry. I've got to get Georgia back to the roundhouse.
But
Why not just flag down another engine?
Yeah. Farnsworth and Pete'll be along soon enough.
Right! Of course, that's what I'll do. I was just about to say that. I know an engine will come along. I'm sure it will. I think. Maybe.
His voice sounds so familiar.
See? I told you so. Did I know or what?
You're lucky, that's what.
I remember this scene of him trying to stop. Very dumb idea to just be on the track.
What do you think you're doing? We
Oh, what this clown's trying to tell you is that our engine has
That's
broken
metaphorical and
down. The boys
real.
and girls on the other side of the mountain won't have any toys to play with or good food to eat unless you help us.
yeah. I pull you. once pulled a fine passenger train over the mountain. There I was, pulling smoothly, so fine people can enjoy the view, and so other fine people can sleep comfortably, and so other fine people in the dining car can eat. I pull the likes of you. Indeed, indeed, indeed.
Karma will get you, bud.
Aren't gonna make it.
Well, he's not the only engine in the world.
I didn't think he was the right one for us anyway.
Now, the funny thing is that was Frank Welker, the voice of Fred in Scooby-Doo. You would think he would learn not to be on the track. Trains in cartoons, he stepped aside.
Nothing to it. On the other hand...
Hey, what do you clowns want?
Well, our engine has broken down, and the good little boys and girls won't have any toys to play with or good food to eat. Unless you are to be helping us, huh?
You want me to pull you? Listen, kid. Only this morning I pulled a freight train with a very important printing press over the mountain. It'll print books and newspapers for grown-ups to read about important things. I am a very important engine, and I don't pull the likes of you. I do not.
And again.
Well, I told you there wouldn't be any engines to pull us.
There will so.
There will not.
There will.
There won't.
There will.
There won't.
Karma will get that guy.
You'll have your old chug back in a couple of days.
Poor Georgia. Yeah, but now's your chance. My chance? Right, for a train. Tower,
Now what?
let me take the birthday train over the mountain.
You really want to do this, don't you, kid?
I think I can. I think he's gonna go for it.
Never. Nix. No way, no time, not now, not never. No, no, no!
There won't be any more engines.
There will.
There won't.
There will.
There won't. Read my beak. No more engines.
Excuse me, please.
Oh, sure.
Right. Won't.
Ha!
Won't. 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 Hey, quiet down. We're trying to talk. There won't.
A train?
So we need an engine to take us over the mountain.
Listen, could you, what they said?
Why, I'd love to.
Yay!
Yep, I'd love to, but my just isn't what it used to be. And going over the mountain is too much for me these days. Sorry. Just can't do it. 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 Just can't do it.
So out of the 5 engines, only 3 of them.
Couldn't do it, Tilly.
If you can't, and Pete and Farnsworth won't, well, then there's nobody to take them. There's you. Yeah! There's me! Shh! Goodbye, Tower, in the train yard.
Like I said.
Out of 5 trains, 2 are douchebags,
Now we will never go.
Oh,
and 3 are nice.
If we get going now, maybe we can make it to a toy store in time for Christmas.
But, are you quitting? Listen to me. Quitters never, well, they don't win. They can't, see?
This guy kind of reminds me of Roger Rabbit. He just does.
Easy for him to say. But who's going to pull us?
I think I can.
Oh, great. Now we've got a miniature choo-choo who thinks she can pull us.
I think I can.
I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. I think I
remember this.
I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can.
When your feet are dragging on the ground, stand up and face whatever you're afraid of. When pandemonium is all around.
Pandem.
Then you find out what it is you're made of.
If you will just believe it's true,
I think I remember this song.
you can't do. There's not a mountain that you can't climb. There's not a river you can make it over. There's no tomorrow that you can't find if you try. I know you're gonna make it. Nothing will stop you now.
I think I remember this. You know, for this thing, this came out in '91. The animation still holds up really well. The animation still holds up really well. It's still very cute.
Turn back. You're too little. You can't do it.
I think I can.
You'll be sorry.
Oh,
I think you can.
I think I remember that scene now. I think I remember that, like, the panning scene of the wolves on that rock. I think I remember it. Heh, cute. I'm having memories of this bridge.
I'm going over that mountain.
You're too little. You'll never make it through the storm. Too little.
I think I can.
Yeah. Yeah, the bridge collapses. Part of it does. Wait, don't they lose the... Yeah. Let's wait. She won't get back, though. Unless there's another way. Yeah, like that's gonna work.
That was too close. Are we still alive? Everything's all right. Whoa.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's freaking cool.
I think I can.
Avalanche. It's like a hand. Don't know, though, if, like... I really think it's part of her imagination. It's not... Like, that much right there is not actually real, but it's part of her imagination. It's, like, the negative part of your mind that still tells you that you can't do it, while the other part of you is still trying to push forward and say you can. Wait. He's reading the book. this scene. Shaped like a heart. Chip. Chip is literally the wingman we all want. This seems like short, but
The little engine brought the birthday train. I knew she would. I thought I could. You did it, Tilly. Yes, I did it. And it was worth it.
still remember this music here. You know, that was actually shorter. But then, as a kid, you know, it just seemed longer, but yeah, this was a part of my childhood. Now, the funny thing, I mean, as far as the review, like, honestly, this still holds up. The animation is still atmosphere, sketches, character designs. It's hard to believe this thing is, like, what, 32 years old now? 2001, 2021. Let's see, 91. 2001. 2011, 2021. Yeah, this thing's 32 years old. It still holds up well. I mean, the animation is still fun. It's still imaginative. It's cute. And of course, Frank Welker was voiced the first, voiced the Superliner train. And of course, voiced Fred in Scooby-Doo. This, honestly, Island Animation, wow. Ink and Paint in UK. I wonder how many of these places are still active. '91. Dolby Surround. Cardiff, Wales, UK. Dude, I had the VHS tape of this thing. I don't remember what else was on the VHS, if there was anything, but I had this on VHS. I had this thing on VHS, and I remember I watched the heck out of this movie. It was one of my favorite movies as a kid growing up, as far as like animated movies goes. I mean, it was one of those things. There were a lot of. I mean, I watched a ton of cartoons growing up. But the funny thing is, this movie was locked in my memory, and I had actually completely forgotten about this thing. And then YouTube recommended it to me, and I'm like, as soon as I saw it, I clicked on it because I was curious. Because immediately it hit me. Wait, I remember seeing something like that as a kid. And then I watched like a few seconds of it, and I saw the intro, and I'm like, immediately, that core memory was unlocked, and I was taken back to my childhood, putting that VHS tape into the VHS player and just watching this movie. And back then, you would have to rewind it. Once you got done, you would have to rewind it in order to watch it again the next time. But man, this takes me back. I watched this movie so much. I don't know what came first for me as far as trains go. I don't know if this came first or if it was Thomas the Tank Engine. I really don't know which came first. I want to say that Thomas came first, uh, but this was definitely close behind. I mean, this came out in 91. Ah, dear. I had like the VHS tape, and I watched this thing like in the late 90s. Growing up, I watched this thing, watched Thomas the Tank Engine, and of course watched many other cartoons and such. But I remember I had the VHS tape for this, and it was just so cool watching this movie again. Like, this and Cats Don't Dance. I mean, as far as story goes, Cats Don't Dance is definitely more for everybody. More for everybody to watch. I mean, even adults can watch it and enjoy the movie. This right here is still, I would say it is more for kids, but as a as an adult, I wanted to rewatch that and see if it still holds up from what I remember from my childhood. And honestly, it does. I mean, it's not. It's definitely not a film that, as a child, that kids. It's definitely not a super easy kids film in which it's 1, 2, 3 ABC, anything like that. No, no, no. I would say this, as an adult, there's still some fun stuff about this movie that I can watch. And as an adult, it's still fun to hear the voice acting in it, hear the really awesome voice acting, and I can really appreciate the voice talent that went into this, and the animation, and how it still holds up. And this was back, whenever hand-drawn animation, of course, was still a thing. They didn't have CGI. And it still holds up. I mean, it still holds up amazingly well. It's fun. The music is really good in it, and the character designs are just really fun. They're still cartoony, and of course, being a cartoon, they still have the bend, like the cartoony squash and stretch animation style that you would come to expect that. And honestly, it gives them more personality, I would say. I love that the characters, I love that, and I'm talking about a film that came out back in 91. I love that they didn't animate the characters so that they felt stiff and didn't move. I love that they actually gave them some function, some movement, even though it doesn't make any sense from a logical standpoint. Who cares? It's a cartoon. Um, there are times whenever logic can be applied, and then there are other times whenever you just have to throw it out the window and be fine with it. And on this one, I totally am. I mean, using their shoot, I'm not as familiar with trains, but uh, using uh, the cylinders as almost like hands or arms, it's very cool to see that. And again, seeing the squash and stretch animation with the whole uh, function, with the whole body of the train. And again, some people I know would say this doesn't make any sense. They would be static, but at the same time, I love the animation. For this thing to be 32 years old, if I'm not mistaken, it still holds up well. It really does. Voice acting still holds up well too. It really does. Um, and so, as far as the story goes, it's short, but it does what the book did. Uh, the more simplified version of the book, or I believe there were other iterations that was done over time that made it more, that did a few different things with the story. But this one right here, just, it did what the book did. It did it in a fun, cartoony fashion. And there's some really awesome symbolism in it that you could easily, as an adult, I can look back and I can see that as a kid I didn't even have any idea about. Um, with the different, like for example, the fact that her boiler, the doors to the boiler and the boiler itself was shaped like a heart. That was like literally the heart of the engine. We never saw the boilers for the other trains, so you could be left up to interpretation as to if the other boilers are shaped like that as well, and it's like the heart of the train, or if it's just hers. And the boiler itself burning as she was unconscious in the snow is, to me, a fun representation of like the fire burning within your heart. You know, that fire of desire, the fire of determination burning within you, and it reignites that. And then it's it could be debated as to whether or not the different symbols that she saw, like the things that she heard, like the wolves talking and the eagle and the tunnel. Now the wolves, totally believable. I could believe that. You could kind of think, wait a minute, why would the animals be talking? Maybe she's just hallucinating that. Maybe it's just her imagination. They're talking trains, and all of the toys are talking, so I don't think it's that far-fetched that the animals would be talking either. Um, are talking as well. So the eagle, I could believe it, but at the part of the eagle, I kind of get into the theory that maybe it was just not really a hallucination, but it was just her imagination. Maybe the eagle just did its regular eagle screech, and she just heard that. Once we get to the tunnel, but I still think it could be believable as well. Maybe the eagle has been there before, seen other trains pull the birthday train, and it actually did not. It saw her and thought she's too little, she can't do it, and it tried to warn her. However, I once we get to the tunnel itself was not alive. I really think that at that point, it was just her imagination. At this point, because of how other people had been filling her head, or for so, or her smokestack in this case, um, with the belief that she couldn't do it for so long. They had been filling her head with that. You know, it's realistic, honestly, because the concept of this story, and I'm kind of applying it to the book as well, but because I've watched the animation here, I'm really applying it or taking it from this animation. It could easily be applied to the book, but I'm taking it from this animation. The concept of believing in yourself, yes, is in fact very, very important. And I know firsthand, whenever you have people telling you for a long time that you cannot do something, that you're incapable of doing it. For different people, it does reach a point where you can start believing it, and you start having a lot less confidence in yourself, and you have no confidence at all. And I am there with some things because of having people tell me that before. One example is work. Having people told me, having other people before make me feel like I'm not good at it, and so I have no confidence in myself. I always think I did a crappy job. Um, but in this case, she had. It's easy once you're in that position to that you start hearing those voices telling you you can't do it. You cannot do it, and what's the point of trying? Believe me, I've been there before. I'm still there on some things. And so I feel like the tunnel and it speaking to her was actually in her head. And that was her mind jostling about. That was the battle in her mind between her fear, her concern that she couldn't do it, and her heart telling her that she could. That was like two sides of her mind. One telling her she couldn't, the other one telling her she could. And so that I really think that was like another, just, I do believe that was part of her imagination. And then she pushed through, she pushed onward, and she made it out of the tunnel. made it over the mountain and made it to the town and delivered the train. And she did what others said that she couldn't do. Now, realistically, and again, it turned out okay. Everything was good. They only lost one car in the process, but now, realistically speaking, looking back at it, we never saw what happened to Georgia or what happened with her, how she recovered. Never saw that, uh, or what happened with the grandpa train. You know, and Pete, I think, the bulky engine, and Farmsworth, I want to say. I apologize if I got that wrong. The streamlined engine. Both of them were douchebags. They were complete dicks, and so I know karma will end up happening to them as well. But the funny thing is that the bridge was like the only way to the town, supposedly. Maybe. Don't know. We don't know, actually, if the bridge was the only way to the town because, I actually read a couple of things. I was looking into the character and actually read something about how the bridge was destroyed and so she couldn't get back to the roundhouse. And I noticed that, and I'm not really sure because Tower made a mention about taking other people back and forth to the town. It could be different towns, but he only said one town, so we don't know if that's the only town. Like, if everybody went to this, if all the other trains delivered the stuff to the same town, and so there was just another path. I would say, logically speaking, if there was another path, then Tilly could have taken it and it would have been easier. But I'm thinking that because that's kind of a plot hole that's not really explained in this animation. But you can kind of create your own theory for that. Is that this was a different town, and they had the only way to the town was through the tunnel, was over the mountain, and so if the bridge is gone, Tilly's not getting back to the roundhouse unless she maybe takes another way. There has to be another way, or you could look at it like, well, at least she got to strike out on her own. She got to be away from the douchebags that always put her down, and get away from that. So, she built confidence in herself. She got away from the negative people that were putting her down. Now, granted, Georgia was on her side and still wanted and believed in her. Pete and Farmsworth did not. Never saw the older grandfather train interacting with Tilly, so we never really knew what his side was. Though I would honestly believe that he would be on Tilly's side as well. So, but the tower wasn't even on her side. So, but Chip was adorable. Chip was just cute, and just a fun little character. Definitely the wingman we all want. The friend we all want. And it was still fun. I mean, the voice acting was really good. The animation still holds up well, and it's interesting too because Tilly was able to, once she built the confidence in herself, she was able to overcome that. But she was able to overcome that because of her determination and her sheer willpower. But she also may not have to worry about being around Pete and Farmsworth again because, she managed to, because the tracks, and she might not get back, who knows. And I still say karma would end up coming back on them. Karma would hit those other two trains hard. But anyway, yeah, this was just a big part of my childhood. This movie was. I watched this I don't know how many times. And it is a fun movie still. Animation still holds up incredibly well. For it to be 32 years old, still holds up incredibly well. And the voice acting is still good. The sound was really good. And it's just really awesome. And I found this on YouTube. A couple different versions up on YouTube. So hopefully I'll be able to link that below. but see, if you know, watch it. I did actually find out that they do have it on DVD. I checked on eBay. They do actually have it on DVD now, which is a good thing. Um, but yeah, this was just a big part of my childhood, and I've completely forgotten about it. But now I'm glad that I do remember it now, and it was very fun to watch it again and go back to my childhood and see this movie again. And like I said, the animation holds up really well. It's still it's still a fun movie, and I would say even as an adult, if you watch this growing up, definitely you can watch it again. The animation still holds up well. It's just a fun movie. It is. Um, but again, I wanted to watch this because this was part of my childhood, and I just had to watch it. I know it's different than what I've done on my channel, and I'm not doing this. I did not do this because I want my channel to be more for kids. I don't want my channel to be for kids. I didn't watch this for kids. I watched this for nostalgia. That's why I watched it. Um, but again, thanks again for joining me. Hope you guys enjoyed. Maybe if you watch this movie, what memories do you have of watching this movie? If you watched this movie growing up, what memories do you have of watching this movie? What do you think of the characters? Tilly is definitely my favorite character. She's adorable. She's fun. She's definitely my favorite character. And I love Chip. He's so cute. But again, thanks again for joining me. Hope you guys enjoyed. And let me know what you think in the comments below. And hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video that I do. God bless. See you guys later. Hopefully, take care.
Sparkling FM.